Two people can put in the exact same hours, yet end up in completely different worlds. One grinds in the dark for years with no visible progress, while the other seems to command millions of views and massive growth overnight. We view the world through a linear lens, expecting 10 units of effort to return exactly 10 units of success. But real growth is exponential. It involves long stretches of zero visible results, flatlining along the bottom axis before curving violently upward. A Chinese bamboo seed remains buried for 5 years, showing zero growth above the soil. Underground, however, it is compounding a massive root system. Once that foundation is set, the plant can shoot up 90 feet in a single month. Malcolm Gladwell identifies this moment of sudden, explosive transition as the tipping point. It is the precise second an idea or a behavior reaches a critical mass and begins spreading like a contagion. This sudden visibility is the mechanical result of 3 specific levers. When these levers align, growth stops being a slow crawl and becomes an epidemic. Most people assume a trend starts by reaching millions of random strangers at once. In reality, the initial spread depends on a tiny group of specific archetypes. In April 1775, Paul Revere and William Dawes both rode out on identical missions to warn American colonial towns that the British were coming. Revere's message successfully mobilized the militia and sparked a revolution. Dawes carried the exact same warning, but his towns remained asleep. Revere succeeded because he was a connector. He linked entirely different social worlds, and a maven, a trusted source of critical information. He knew exactly whose doors to knock on to ensure the news would multiply. To complete the chain, you need the salesman, the charismatic persuader who takes the maven's information and actually convinces the network to move. Targeting these 3 archetypes creates an unstoppable social virus. Without them, even the most important information remains trapped with the messenger. Even a perfect network of connectors cannot save a message that people forget 5 minutes after hearing it. Early educational television producers initially failed to transmit academic knowledge to children. They were broadcasting raw facts, which the young audience ignored. By iteratively testing segments, producers found retention spiked using narrative hooks and visual curiosity. Repackaging the data made it impossible to ignore. This is the stickiness factor. It is the specific engineering of an idea that forces the human brain to store it for the long term. In a digital environment, stickiness is measurable. If viewers abandon a video in the first few seconds, the algorithm detects a lack of stickiness and stops recommending it. An idea cannot tip if it is forgettable. To spread, information must be designed to stay lodged in the mind of the viewer. The final multiplier is context. Even a sticky message delivered by the right people will fail if the immediate environment is working against it. Consider the difference between working in a chaotic, cluttered room filled with digital noise versus a minimal desk with a single notebook. Human willpower is a finite daily resource. A physical environment, however, exerts a constant subconscious pressure that willpower eventually fails to resist. We also mirror the behaviors of those around us. Our decisions are rarely isolated. They are reactions to the baseline habits of our social circle. You cannot brute force a tipping point in a hostile environment. To change the behavior, you must first redesign the context. These 3 levers, the messenger, the message, and the environment, function on a microscopic level within your own life. Just as a virus needs the right conditions to infect a city, a new habit requires these variables to colonize your day. Most people fail at personal change because they use a linear, brute force strategy. They attempt to overhaul their health, finances, and routine all at once, expecting immediate, proportional results. The functional alternative is to engineer a system of sticky micro-habits, like reading for 10 minutes or doing 20 push-ups, and then optimizing your physical environment to make those habits inevitable. The math of a 1% daily improvement is relentless. For the first month, the change is invisible, but by day 365, the compounding effect makes you 37 times more capable than you were on day 1. This same exponential math applies to distractions. 30 minutes of daily scrolling compounds into years of lost potential. reaching its own tipping point before you realize the damage is done. Success is the explosive, visible result of tiny, invisible actions that finally reached critical mass. By mastering the levers of the tipping point, you stop chasing luck and start engineering your own explosion.